Hi, I'm Mike with Homes Quality Products. Today, I want to talk to you about the Chase Sapphire Reserve Credit Card. This is Chase Premium Travel Card. It has an annual fee of $550. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get some of that money back. All right, the multipliers on this card are 10% booking travel to the Chase Travel Portal, 10% on dining through the Chase Portal, 10% on Lyft rides, 5% on flights through the Chase Portal, 3% on all other travel, 3% on dining, and 1% on everything else. Right now they have a promotion going on for 60,000 points after 4,000 spend in 3 months. So when you're using a travel card like this, that 60,000 to spend, which would typically be $600, is actually valued a lot higher. And we'll go over it in this video why. Not just transferring out to partners, but the way they do their points, they give you an extra percentage on them. The 4,000 spent in 3 months, I don't think that's too crazy if you're using this for everything just to hit the bonus. So if you're using this for your fuel, your groceries, your dining, and everything to at least get the bonus, shouldn't be too hard to get. Now, one of the things they have to offset that $550 annual fee is a $300 travel credit. The great thing about this travel credit, it's very open to travel. So when you book flights and hotels, it could be rental cars. I think even some people have said they had it from, parking their cars at places and transit, and even paying tolls all count as travel. So it's pretty easy to get that $300 back, which then that leaves you with a $250 left to try to counter. It also has global entry and TSA PreCheck and Nexus. So there's other ways that you can get a little bit of value out of this card too for getting the PreCheck and global entry and things like that. This card has primary car rental insurance, which I love because the American Express Platinum and Gold card don't have primary car rental insurance. So that's kind of disappointing. But at least this card has it. Now, one of the hidden features of this card is that it gives you 50% more value when you use your points booking travel through the Chase portal. So that means that your 1 point was actually going to be worth 1.5 if you use it for travel. I really like this feature because people that don't want to use transfer partners to try to get maybe 2 cents or more, this is going to give you more value if you just use your points through their portal. I've booked stuff before and I'm trying to get at least 1 cent a point, maybe because I need a certain day and a certain time, so there's not a whole lot of flexibility. And sometimes I found it hard to get more than 1 cent per point because of the particular time, particular day I need. At least with this, you're going to get more than 1 cent per point using your points. This card also gives you access to the Chase lounges and priority lounges, but not just the regular priority pass lounges like you get with the American Express Platinum, but also the restaurants they have. So if you take this card and you go into the restaurants, you'll get, I believe it's $28 for yourself towards your bill, your dining credit. But if you bring a guest, I think it's like $58. So if you go into those places, you're still going to get some money back using this card. And you still have the Chase lounges, which are pretty decent too. And with their lounge access, you can bring yourself and 2 other guests, which I like a lot because if you have a spouse and a child, you can bring them in. Unlike where Amex has changed the Centurion Lounge where it's just yourself unless you spend an additional $75,000 on the card. So I like the fact that you can at least bring a couple more people in. This card has your purchase protections and your travel delay protections and things like that too. So it's good to use to buy like an item that, it's expensive and you just rather have an extended warranty on it in case something happens to it. Or if you're traveling and you get delayed, you got extra insurance and coverage for that too. Now with Chase points, you can cash them out at 1 cent a point, which I wouldn't really recommend. I would say at the very least, try to save your points for travel because if you got this card, that means you plan to travel. So use your points at least through the travel portal and get an extra 1.5 cent per point in value. But with that being said, they have 11 airlines and 3 hotel partners, I believe, that you could transfer to. And one of those hotel partners is Hyatt. And if you ever watch any of my other videos, you know what I think of Hyatt points. Hyatt points are very valuable, a lot more valuable than Hilton and Marriott and the others. With Hyatt, you're usually going to get at least 2 cents a point for booking a place through Hyatt with using their points. So Hyatt's a very powerful transfer partner to have because their points are valued so high. So if you see a place that's $300, you need $150 worth of points. It's $500, $250 worth of points. Really good deal using their points for Hyatt. And then I know when you transfer points to fly, sometimes you get extra benefits too. You may get the ability to cancel your flight and get all your points back, at least to that partner. I know British Airways, which I've used a lot, does that. So I book a flight through British Airways to fly American Airlines, and I cancel, I think it's within 24 hours of the flight leaving, I get my points back. So it's like getting trip cancellation built in. Also, Chase has Chase offers, which are deals you can add to the card. So you might get an additional like 3% at a certain grocery store or a certain store, or 5% or $10 back after $100 spend. So I always tell people activate all of those, because you never know when you might be somewhere and you happen to buy something at a place that you don't normally shop, but you were there and you've seen something you wanted, you may get an additional percentage back. When you book a hotel, one of their luxury hotels, to the Chase portal, you'll also get breakfast for two, you'll get a $100 voucher, and you'll get early check-in and late checkout. Those are nice features to have. Like if you got a nice hotel and you stay a little late, or your flight doesn't leave till later and you don't want to be sitting at the airport forever, if you have a late checkout, that'll help. The $100 could cover maybe some food or dining at the hotel. Maybe if you have a car rental and you have it parked and they charge you to park the car, they can cover that. The breakfast for two, if you get breakfast for two people, I consider that like $40 a day worth of money back in your pocket too, or at least $30 a day back in your pocket for getting free breakfast. And of course, a card like this has no foreign transactions fees. It's a Visa card, so it should be accepted pretty much everywhere. So for me, the big things about this card is a $300 travel credit, the lounge access for yourself and two guests, and I look at that as at least $20 a person of free food and drinks at least. Some people will use more than that. The primary car rental insurance, that'll save you some money too. The only thing about that, it's hard for me to give that a whole lot of credit because no annual fee cards like the Bill card have that built in for free. But one of the big ones too is the 50% increase in value. So the $300 credit, the lounge access, and the 50% increase in value in your points, those are probably the big ones for me. Now, one thing is, I think this is a good card. I love the $300 travel credit because it's super easy to use. Unlike Amex's $200 airline where you have to choose the airline, it doesn't cover the ticket. It covers like baggage fees and things like that. Or the $200 hotel credit that Amex gives you with the Platinum, you have to book one of the fine hotels to use the credit, things like that. I like that this $300 one's super easy to use. Now, the negative to this is with the Amex card, because yes, I know I'm comparing this to Platinum. This isn't like a versus video, but most of you people that are looking at this card are probably looking at the Platinum too. The thing with the Platinum is if you can get value out of the credits, like not doing things like, for example, the $300 Equinox credit Platinum has, if you're not going to use that, don't go get that gym membership just to use it. Now you're going out of your way to, like, that's not the way I'm looking at this. But with the $240 digital entertainment credit, the $200 airline credit, the $200 hotel credit, the Walmart Plus, which comes with like Paramount TV and gives you discount at Murphy's Gas and 2-day shipping. If these are things that you're going to utilize or you would possibly pay for out of your pocket, then I think it's easier to offset the Platinum card. In my Platinum video, I talk about how it puts $400 back in my pocket. With this card, I think I could get value out of it because of the lounge access and as much as I travel, but I fly at least once a month, right? So if you're not flying many times a year, the lounge access isn't going to make a big difference for you. I love the extra increase in the bonus in your points, the value in them. To me, that's a huge plus, and that helps offset somewhat. But with the preferred card, you get 25, so you get 25% back. And with the Built card, which has no annual fee, you get 25%. So is the additional 25% worth the $250? I'm still trying to figure out how to offset. So $300, easy credit. We're going to cover that. But it still leaves me with $250 that I need to make sure I'm getting the value out of it. And that's where I struggle a little bit with this card. I wish they had a few more. I know they have like an Instacart credit, and they have, I believe it's like a Lyft credit. But with the Platinum, the Uber credits, you can use it for Uber Eats or traveling if you take Uber. I feel like the Platinum credits are a little easier for me to use. I don't like that it has a higher annual fee than this card, but if I'm getting enough credits back out of it that I can counteract that annual fee, I'm okay with that. But at the end, I want to make sure I'm counteracting. Like if I'm spending, if I can't counteract everything up to at least maybe the last $100 of it, then I feel like I wasted money. All right, so with this card, if you're traveling a lot and you have an airport that has a Chase lounge, maybe go ahead and get this card. And if you already have the Freedom Unlimited and the Freedom Flex, you put them together. The only thing with, I also don't like with Chase cards, there's a lot of overlap, like with the dining. Like they all have the dining 3 points back. I wish there was a little more diversity, kind of like City has. City has dining and grocery and fuel covered all the time. I don't have to use special 3 months of this and 1 month of that or whatever. If you have a Chase lounge in an airport that you go through frequently, that can add a lot of value to this card. But if you don't, I would suggest for you to look at getting the preferred card, because the preferred card has primary car rental insurance. You get a point, 2.5 multiplier on your points, and it has a $95 annual fee, and they give you a credit for $50, I believe it is. So it's a little easier to justify that. With any of these cards, especially these premium travel cards, just make sure you're getting value out of it. Make sure these cards are putting money back in your pocket. You want to take advantage of what they're offering and get cash back and points from them. You don't want them to take advantage of you where you're paying out for a service that you may be able to get for free from somebody else. I think this is a good card for the right person. The right person, I think it's a very small group. I feel like people that aren't using the lounge access are really not getting too much value out of this card in comparison with the preferred. But if you go through these lounges all the time and you're getting the free food, it'll definitely cover the $250 pretty quickly. So I'd probably say if you're traveling maybe 5+ times a year and you're hitting a lounge up each time, you might get the value out of it. So it's not a bad card for the right person. And remember, like I always say, if you don't have the cash, you don't have the credit. Only pay what you have the cash for. You don't want to pay interest. I'm not trying to get anybody to go in debt. I want you guys to get free travel, free things, and put cash back in your pocket. That's why I'm so big about making sure you're counteracting the extra $250 on this card. And if you are, that's great. I'm not saying, I definitely would recommend it if you're going to be able to get the lounge access and counteract that. Anyway, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments down below. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.